hard to control this phone with it's hard to control this phone with my gloves. So I'm just gonna have to, get used to this weather. But anyways, I wanted to make a response video. I was actually going to make a response video to Chrissy's "Educated Lames Don't Assert Themselves." But ironically, another video went viral on YouTube and Facebook on the same topic, but from a different crowd. And this crowd was from a group of black youth from the UK, and they were talking about it was about black girls, or well, just girls in general. They want the bad boys, and they don't like the lames and the squares because they don't assert themselves. They don't wield any power. They're weak. They're they have no street cred and stuff like that. And it was a very interesting video. It didn't make me want to cuss a little bit and get mad, but I wanted to play the devil's advocate and say that that these girls have the right to feel the way that they do. And reason being is that, the black community is a hostile environment, Girls, especially black girls, are not protected. They're not, okay, yeah, they're not protected. They're not wanted, as, respectable partners. And so black girls get caught up with, looking for being promiscuous or whatever. And, all that shit. And, they're not going to be looking at the nerds. They're not going to be looking at the educated lames, so to speak. They're not going to be looking at guys who are trying to go to college and be neuroscientists or brain physicians or whatever. And black girls don't feel like education is benefiting black boys because there is no media, there's no sexiness when you see black men in school. I mean, or black men getting their education. I mean, I'll say black boys getting their education. You will see those type of kind of quiet type, those little hidden gems, like you see on those Tyler Perry movies where like the educated guy is like, he's like 6'2" and dark skin, bald. He's an educator, he's a mentor, goes to church. But in reality, there isn't a lot of those type of guys. And even with the black media, a lot of those guys are, they're pretty up in age, and black girls aren't seeing, black boys their age being wanted or respected for their education. I didn't want to play the devil's advocate because, we already heard the multiple YouTube videos of black girls want thugs, black girls want bad boys, black girls want this and that, blah, 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 and all that shit. There's tons of videos. There's already tons. But I wanted to play the devil's advocate and say that that these girls have a right to feel the way that they do. And I will say I'm gonna sound like Chrissy to a degree, but I'm going to bring new points and new topics that Chrissy and most black YouTubers, even Sarge, hasn't really brought up. Um, I will say that I will say that these girls are from the UK, and we don't know what it's like there. We don't know about the urban environment or what it's like for them. We don't know. I mean, we can guess that it's similar to how black youth in America feel, but it's not. There's no real concrete, so I wouldn't know. But I will say that based off the video, they seem like city girls. They seem like city girls who just want bad boys because they saw some Soldier Boy video, or they're digging Chris Brown or Lil Uzi or 21 Savage, and they're like, oh my god, my dick, my pussy goes wet. Seeing niggas talking about putting a cap on another nigga's ass, and oh, I love his control of the streets and how black men and how he's respected within his community and nobody tries him and he has the whole block on lockdown and shit doesn't get by him unless he says so. So, I have to understand what those girls are into. I don't think they're urban girls or girls from the hood or whatever, because to me that's a little ridiculous. For me to be hearing girls talking about, they want niggas to slap them up and say, shut the fuck up when when a nigga tells them to, like, because a lot of the shit that Esther was saying, the black girl who looked like Missy Elliott, the thing with her is that she's running off in the mouth saying dumb shit, and I'm like, I don't know the statistics in the UK, but I've lost friends who I lost a female friend in high school because she was dating a goon and she was running off at the mouth, and that dude put a cap on her ass. He killed her. I know niggas lost good male friends because of nigga shit. Niggas can't let shit go. We already know about Chicago. We already know about these gangs and whatever. First 48. And that lifestyle isn't fun. And these girls, they can talk about, oh, well, it's the sexuality, it's the ruggedness, it's the respect. But a lot of these girls need to realize that street shit comes with a cost. And that, black boys die. I don't know what the black on black crime statistics is in the UK, but like, it's not a game here. It's not a game in the US. And I think these girls are just mimicking, or they're just falling in love with street culture from the United States because the black diaspora in the UK, nobody knows shit about it. Nobody's copying black UK folks, and there's no trending shit that came from black people in the UK. And so I see this multiple times. I see this in places like in the Caribbean, to where you have black boys sagging in their pants, and they don't, that's not their national culture. They have no reason to do it, but because black men in the United States, they put up a high standard for black males, and you have black men globally trying to be like us and be like, oh well, these guys are the pinnacle, and we have to live up like them because you know, they're black and we're black, and you know, we're black males, and we have to live up to their standards and shit. You know, it's a hard pill to, a hard pill to swallow, but this is the thing that we have to realize, that these girls have to realize, that street shit isn't a game. You know, Esther's talking about, you know, she wants some nigga to slap her around and shit. Shit. You know, domestic abuse isn't funny. It's not funny here, man. Shit. I remember the nights in my old neighborhood where, you know, I be hearing women screaming, yelling, cursing for hours with their nigga. You know, I remember it was years ago, way years ago. I don't know if it was a domestic abuse issue, but I remember those violent fights my neighbor used to have, you know, with her nigga. And that dude got kicked out. And I think she became a single mom, and then she started dating some other niggas. But you know, these young girls, man, they playing with their lives, man. They're playing with their lives. Another thing that I wanted to bring out was that another reason why these girls are into these street dudes is, like I said before, the black community doesn't value education, and this is why you tend to see a lot of people saying shit like, "Oh well, school is teaching us bullshit. They're teaching us garbage. They're teaching us equations that we don't use in real life." And I hear people talking about, like, they should be teaching us how to file taxes, and how to manage a bank account. And I'm like, this is shit that can be easily learned on the internet, and I don't see the point in really, teaching kids in school how to file taxes. I mean, that's pretty easy. I mean, I see black folks getting, thousands of dollars, from their tax return. And so, I think they're doing a good enough job as it is. But I don't have a problem with the supposed curriculum of schools, public and magnet, when it comes to teaching them shit like the Pythagorean theorem, square roots. I hope I said that right the first time. Square roots, squaring numbers, cube numbers, learning about different types of research, critical thinking, calculating the atomic mass, atomic weight, knowing your elemental table, shit, understanding electrons, protons, neutrons, and shit like that. That's important. I know. And the thing is that, yeah, I get it that learning this shit doesn't benefit you in the hood, because because the businesses there are generally pretty simple, and it's either there's no businesses or you just do retail or whatever. It doesn't require you to have a college education. Nobody's not telling you to calculate or plug in this formula and see what X equals and shit like that. And so, black folks throw away education. They say, like, fuck it, it's useless. It doesn't benefit me here because there's no opportunities. I can learn the hardest equation known to man, and, it benefits me none, in the black community. Another thing And this is really the biggest thing, that the biggest reason why I made the video, well, the reason being that I made the video, is that these black girls are in these tough schools, these tough black schools, and you gotta be honest with yourself. They're not attracted to these lames. They're not attracted to these nerds or whatever. They don't find them cute. They don't find them attractive because what? They're getting punked. When these girls see Steve Urkel being stuffed in a locker, she's not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight for him." She's gonna say like, "Oh, fuck that." He's not gonna be getting my number, and he's not gonna be getting asked from me. That's how they're gonna be. They're not gonna be running to you. They're not gonna be running to you because of good character. They're not gonna be running to you because you make good grades, and they can give less of a fuck about any of those things. The minute they see you getting punked out of your own hood and getting stuffed in lockers, beat up every day, their pussy's gonna be dry, and they're not gonna be looking at you. And it's a sad reality, but this is a man's world, and women in general aren't gonna respect that. They're not gonna respect you for being a bitch. They ain't gonna respect you for being a pushover. They ain't gonna respect you for any of these reasons. On why that you're taking it in the ass and you're not doing anything about it. These girls are coming from harsh environments, and when you watch that video in its entirety, and even when you put in experiences outside of that video, black girls are being sexually harassed. Black girls are being raped. They are being molested. They are being kidnapped. They are being attacked. They are being harassed. They are being in fistfights. They are being aggravated constantly. And so they're looking for protection. And these nerds are not going to give them protection with their fucking calculator and their good character that their single mom told them about. Let me take off the Wi-Fi because I don't want this shit to keep buzzing. Should have taken off the Wi-Fi before. Okay, I'm back. But like I said before, these girls are being harassed and attacked constantly, and Poindexter's good character and calculator isn't going to save these girls from shit, and they're not going to feel protected. The black community is hostile, and you have to understand this, and these lames, these nerds have to understand and get it through their thick skull that you're going to have to adapt. And you're going to have to toughen up. You're going to have to learn how to defend yourself. You're going to learn how to take risks. And one thing I'll say this, is that I kind of appreciate white nerds, because a lot of these white nerds are not they're not pushovers. They're not pushovers. A lot of these white nerds, they know how to use guns. They know self-defense, and they're not playing, and so, they're somewhat respected and feared, because people ain't trying to create another fucking Columbine. And, a lot of these white nerds are freaking unstable. I know some that are fucking crazy. And so, and so people have to understand that. And, white nerds, they get that respect. And it's a double standard, because only black boys feel this pain. Only black boys are tested for their masculinity constantly by black women, because they're not having sex. They're not fighting. They're not asserting themselves. And so, us competing mentally and trying to go to college or ace this math quiz, they're not they're not going, ape shit for it. They're not feeling wet over it. You know, and it's a double standard that black boys have to face, and black girls have to acknowledge it because black boys are dying because they're so busy trying to impress you. They're so busy trying to fight for you, and they're killing themselves. They're hurting themselves, wishing that you would understand them, wishing that you would date them for their character or whatever. And the double standard is that white boys, even white nerds, they don't feel this pain that we do because they're not worried about drive-by shootings. They're not worried about violence. They're not worried about another white person killing them or shooting them or robbing them. They ain't worried about half the shit we're worried about constantly. Another thing is that white nerds, they have better promotion than us. They don't have to be aggressive. They don't have to be street, hood, or whatever. They don't even have to be violent. But when they are violent, they're portrayed as superheroes. The white nerd is always the superhero. You look at Clark Kent, Superman, Spider-Man, all these white male superheroes generally have the archetype of being the homely nerd. Clark Kent, he's the Southern boy. Southern boy at heart. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he's the broke college student. I kind of see the nerd in Gotham's Batman, even though that's kind of a new perspective on Bruce Wayne, but still it's still the archetype of the, he's not a ladies' man. He's very timid. He doesn't know how to talk to girls. He's very, nonchalant. He doesn't have that assertiveness in him when it comes to talking to girls or and stuff like that. And so, white boys have, their portrayal of masculinity is more complex or more diverse than us. We're stuck, black boys are stuck being gangbangers and fucking ladies' men, and if we don't fit that category, we're fucked. Nobody's willing to talk to us. No one is willing to get to know us. And I wish that I wish I was on the show. Because if I was on the show, I would ask these girls if they're into interracial dating. And I would ask them if they are, would they apply these so-called bad boy characteristics on them? And most likely they wouldn't. And because there's no need to be violent in the white community, there's no need to be walking with a strap in the suburbs. And so, when black women date interracially, those white boys are nerds. They can be themselves. They can be weird. They can like weird shit. They don't have to be tough. They can talk about their feelings. They can talk about how soft they are and how timid they are, and they can be that. And black women will allow it and they won't mind it. But with us, we have to be rugged. And it's I'm kind of like stuck in an odd position because I understand what the girl's going through. I know why they think like that, but it's so dangerous for us to black men because those girls are just looking for sexual pleasure. And the thing is that black boys are putting in the work and we're fighting each other to the fucking death because of their sexuality. I just want these girls to realize that they're putting us in a dangerous spot. But I'm gonna end this video here.